Okay, so let's restart the sub. Okay, let's restart the lesson with the chapter one, which is management and management principle and type of management. Okay, so this one is just a brief. Okay, this one is this one is the overall why we need management and why we need the HSE management in the company. All right. All right. So these are the learning outcome. Okay, that you will have after this chapter. Okay. So at the end of this session, students should be able to conceptualize principles, span, and decentralization of management, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling as a function of management, delegation and advantages of delegation, physical, biological, and psychosocial environment, and understand their impact on health. Okay, so these are the learning outcome of this subject, this chapter, right? Okay. So let's we start with management. Okay. So before we go to the HSE management, so first of all, we have to understand what is management. Okay. So management is an important element in every organization. Okay. So it is okay, management coordinates current organization activity and plan for the future. Okay. Management adapt the organization to its environment and shape the organization to make it more suitable to the organization. Okay. So why? Okay, so we need management. Okay, if we want to organize the company or the organization. Why? Because without the management, okay, the organization will not become a structured as what they intend to do. Okay, so we are using the management to to make the structure of the organization. Okay, okay, it will become it becomes so okay, it becomes so structured. Okay, so because we need, okay, we okay, if you if okay, if we still remember, okay, in the management class, okay, the the three uh the three characteristic of organization is, one is the people, and then second one is you must have the share, you must have one goal. Okay, one unified goal, so everyone will work towards one goal only. Okay, so that is the second characteristic of an organization. And lastly, the organization must be a structured, must have the structure. Okay, must have the organizational chart. Okay, so we know who is the one who lead, who will be followed. Okay, so we must have the structure. Without the structure, the organization is only a bunch of people working together. Okay, so that's all. Okay, it will not create an organization. Okay, to make an organization, we must have the structure of the organization. Okay, and then to preserve the structure, we need management. Okay, so without management, your organization cannot function properly. Okay, so that is important. That is why management is so important in organization, right? All right. So management, okay. So these are the definition of management. Okay. So management is the art of knowing what you want to do and then seeing that it is done in the best and cheapest way. Okay. This one is stated by F.W. Taylor. Okay. And then another definition of management described by Josh Terry. Management is a process of consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling, performed to determine and accomplish the objective by the use of people and resources. Okay, so using these two definitions, we can say that management is how you want to how you want to use the people in the organization and the resources that you have in the organization to make to ensure that the work is done properly, okay, and effectively, so that you can achieve whatever goal you already highlighted, okay, or you already stated in your organization. Okay, so that is definition. The okay, so management is the knowledge how you want to utilize your resources, either it's a manpower or the material or maybe machine effectively. Okay, so that is management, right? Okay, in this definition, planning means plan in advance. Okay, so one of the function of management is you make a planning. Okay, so that is one of the function in management. So you must be able to plan. Okay, so you must be able to predict. Okay, to make a plan, you must be able to predict what you might encounter. Okay, so that you can so when you can do that, then you can plan. You can make a detailed plan on how to solve some problem, how to overcome some problem, how to do your job properly. Okay, so one of the function of management is to do a planning. Okay, so to do a planning, you must have the knowledge how to about the situation. Okay, organizing means coordination between human resources and material resources. Okay, so this one is another function of management. Okay, so other than you make, okay, so after you make the planning, you must assign. Okay, you must organize, you must assign who will do this, who will do that. Okay, what are the resources for doing this, what are the resources to doing that. Okay, so that is organizing. Okay, and then actuating means motivation and giving direction to subordinates. Okay, so this one, actuating, okay, another term that you can use is leading. Okay, so another function of management is to lead. Okay, you must lead your staff, or you must lead the workers in your organization or your company, so that they know what they should do, how they should do it. Okay, and then you as a manager, you must show by example. Okay, you must show that you are able to do that, so that people so that your workers, they are confident that they can also do it. Okay, so that is the third function in management. And then lastly, controlling means to ensure about implementation of plan without deviation. Okay, so this is the last function in management, where you have to control, you have to monitor, and also you must be able to solve any problem that will arise when the activity is going on. Okay, so you as a manager, you must be able to do this to control the to control the activities in your company. Right. Thus, disciplination tells that management is the act of achieving the organization objective. Okay, so these are the last, okay, the goal of management, which is to achieve the objective or the goal of the company. Okay, so you make planning. Okay, and then you organize your team, and then you lead them to do the activities, and you controlling the activities, so that at the end of the activities, you will achieve the goal that you already set on in the earlier phase. Okay, so that is management and its function. All right. Okay, so function of management. Okay, so this one I think is just a same thing that I already told you. Okay, so planning is a process of deciding the business objective and charting out the plan or method for achieving the same. Okay, so this is the same thing. So planning is when you make the plan. Okay, how you want to achieve your goal. Okay, so this include determination of what is to be done, how and where it is to be done, who will do it, and how results are to be evaluated. Okay, so this is what you will do. Okay, when you planning your activities. Okay, so you must know when you want to do, where you want to do it. Okay, who will do it. Okay, so you will have to plan. Okay, you have to plan the activities. Okay, and then lastly, how you want to evaluate it. Okay, sorry, how you want to evaluate the outcome from the activities. Okay, so this function expected to be carried out throughout the organization. Okay, so the function of planning, okay, it will happen from the top to the bottom. Okay, so the top management, they will make their own planning, and then they pass to the lower level. So the lower level, they also will make their own planning. Okay, why? Because the top management planning is for the whole organization. Okay, And then as the plan goes down, now they are concentrated on every functional group in the organization. Okay, because in organization we have many functional group. We have the technical team, we have the HR team, we have the sales team, we have the marketing team. So each team, they will implement different strategy, okay, so that they can achieve the goal for their own team. Okay, so that's why it's stated here. The planning function will happen throughout the organization. Okay, so the top management will make their planning for the company. Okay, and then they pass to the lower level. So the lower level, they will make their own planning also, so that they will achieve the goal that being set for their for their team. Okay, and then the goal of the team must reflect back whatever the top management already planned for them. Okay, all right. It should be performed by manager at all level. Okay, so the same okay, so the same meaning. All right. Okay, that is the first function of management, which is planning. Okay, and then organizing. Okay, the second function. Accordingly, organizing refers to the structure which result from identifying and grouping the work, defining and delegating responsibility and authority, and establishing relationship. Okay, so in organizing, okay, after you make the planning, now you start to point out. Okay, you already know. Okay, who you will point, who will do the work. Okay, so after the planning, most of the time, the manager will have a meeting. Okay, and then in the meeting he will disseminate the information to the staff. Okay, so he will tell the staff, okay, you should do this, you should do that. Okay, you should support him, you should support her. Okay, so that is organizing. Okay, you appoint the responsibility and authority to your staff. Okay, so you appoint who will be responsible for this activity, who will be responsible for this activity. Okay, all right. So in doing so, okay, people will recognize what are their responsibility. Okay, and then they also will know who they should refer to if they have problem on certain activity. Okay, because the activity they will it's not link up. Okay, it will be related to each other. Okay, so when we have the activity in the organization, usually most of the time you will have an interrelated activities. Okay, so whatever activity you do, okay, will affect others. Okay, so you must interact with each others. Okay, so that you can achieve the goal of the activities. All right. To organize a business is to provide it with everything useful to its functioning. Example, personnel, raw material, machineries, capital, and etc. Okay. So other than you delegating the relationship, you're also delegating the resources. Okay. So you must allocate. Okay. For this activity, how much you will allocate, how much resources you need, how much capital you will allocate for this activity. Okay, and then for the second activity, how much resources you will allocate, how much capital you must spend. Okay, for this activity. Okay, so that is in organizing. Okay, so to ensure that the activity can be run smoothly, you must allocate the personnel, the person, the responsible, the person who will be responsible to the work, and also you must also assign the resources for those activities. All right. Once objectives are established, manager has to develop a plan to achieve them with the help of human resources as well as material resources. Okay, so to achieve the goal, you must, okay, after you make a plan, you must be able to delegate the plan. Okay, so that everyone will understand their roles and responsibility to achieve the goal. All right. So that is the second function, which is organizing. Okay, and then the third function is directing. Okay, directing or leading. Okay, so you as a manager, you must be able to lead your team. Okay, you must be able to ensure that everyone will can do the thing that you want them to do. Right. So directing involve communication, leadership, and motivation. Okay. So when I said you want to ensure that everyone will do the thing that you told them to do, you must show your leadership. Okay, you must be able to show your leadership. Okay, and then you must be able to communicate with them effectively. Okay, so that everyone will not receive wrong message from your communication. Okay, so that is directing. Okay, so when you want to lead your team, first of all, you must have strong leadership. Okay, and then the second important thing, you also must be a good communicator. Okay, and then lastly, okay, you must be able to motivate your teammates. Okay, because when the activities are running, okay, they will you will facing with lots of problem. Okay, and then the problem will sometimes will degrade the motivation of your team. Okay, so you as a leader, okay, you as their manager, you must show your leadership. You must be able to motivate them, okay, to achieve more from those activities. Okay, so communication, okay, so this one, okay, the point down there just to just uh just uh just uh just a explanation for those three characteristic, okay, of a manager. Okay, so first of all, communication is process of passing the information and understanding it from one person to another person. Okay, leadership is a function whereby the person or manager guide and influence the work of his subordinate. Motivation is to motivate the employees to give their best to the organization. Okay, so this one is just the description of those function of manager, right? So as a manager, you must be able to lead your team. Okay, so in order for you to lead your team effectively, you must you must have a strong leadership. Okay, so that you can lead them. Okay, and then you also must be a good communicator, so that you can disseminate the information better to your teammate, and also you can also understand them. Okay, so that's why it's important to have a good communication skill to be a manager. And then lastly, you also must be able to motivate your teammates, so that they can work to they can give their best for the organization, right? Okay, right. And then lastly, controlling. Okay, so controlling is the last function as a manager. Okay, so you as a manager, you must be able to control your team. Okay, you must be able to control your teammates. Okay, so when you do the controlling function, okay, you must establish the standard of performance. Okay, so because in monitoring and controlling function, okay, you want to you want to monitor the progress. Okay, and then you want also to monitor the quality of your workers, or the quality of your team. Okay, so without a standard to measure the performance of your team, okay, it is hard for you to evaluate either your team is good or either your team is bad. Okay, so in controlling function, okay, you as a manager, you must have a standard. Okay, you must your own standard how you want to evaluate your team. Okay, so you must establish your standard. Okay, and then after you establish it, you must allow, okay, you must disseminate the information. You must tell your staff or your team how you will evaluate them. Okay, so that they are aware on how you will evaluate them, okay, for their performance. Okay, That is the first thing in the controlling function, which is you must establish the standard. Okay. And then number two, you must be able to measure current performance and compare it against the established standard. Okay. So after you have your standard, okay, when you do the monitoring process, you compare the performance of your team with the standard that you have. Okay. And then last, okay, number three, taking corrective action that does not meet the standard. Okay. So when you do the comparison, you can see either your team is performing on par with the standard. Okay. Either they will performing below the standard, or they will performing above the standard. Okay. So if your team perform on par or above the standard, you must you as a manager, as their leader, you must give them complimentary. Okay. You can congratulate them, or maybe you give some gift, or you give or you maybe offer them something as a reward. Okay. Why? Because reward, reward and punishment is part of the motivation. Okay. Reward and punishment is part of the motivation. So if your staff or your team perform, then you give them some reward, so that it will maintain or boost their confidence level, and also their motivation. Okay, so that they will perform much better in the future. Okay, so that is how that is if they perform on par or above the standard. But if they if they if they if their performance is below the standard, then you as a manager, first thing you must take corrective action. Okay, you as a manager, you didn't punish you should not punish your team first. Okay, you as a manager, the most important thing, if the job is if your team performance is below your standard, the first thing you must take is how you want to solve this problem. Okay, because uh, if your team perform below your standard, it might uh, it might it might it might what sorry it might affecting the performance of the performance of the sorry it might affecting the deliverables of your activities. Okay, it will impact the output of the activity. Okay, it will impact your output. Okay, so first thing first, if your team underperform, okay, underperforming, okay, so perform below your standard, first thing first, you must take the corrective action first. Okay, so you must correct whatever problem or whatever reason, okay, their performance is below your standard. Okay, so that is the first thing. Okay, after that, then maybe you can give punishment, or maybe you will give them warning first. Okay, it depends on your methods. Okay, how you will do it. Okay, but the first thing first, as a manager, if your team is underperform, you must take the corrective action first. Okay, you must correct whatever reason, okay, your team is underperforming. Okay, you must take corrective action first. Okay, you must correct the problem, or the anything that reduce the performance of your team. That is the first thing you must do before you punish, or you give warning, or maybe you blame them, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that is the first thing. If your team, okay, cannot meet your standard. Okay, and then control compares the event to confirm the plans. Okay, so you do the controlling function, okay, so that it will follow your planning. Okay, so the function of management actually is like a cycle. Okay, so you start with planning, okay, and then you delegate the plan, okay, and then you lead the team to do the job, okay, and then you monitor and control the team, okay, so that whatever you do, okay, whatever you get from the activities will be comply with your planning. Okay, so controlling actually is to ensure that the planning that you have in the first place can be done accordingly. Okay, so that is the last function of management, which is controlling. Okay, all right. So management is critical element in the critical growth of the country. Management is essential in all organized effort, be it business activity or any other activity. Management is dynamic, life-giving element in every organization. Okay, so this one is the universality. Okay, if you still remember, okay, in principle of management, we have the term universality of management. Okay, so management is important. Okay, so if you still remember, okay, based on the phrases, okay, it describes that management is needed in all level of life in this world. Okay, either is in your country, either is for country, either is for the company, either is for family. Okay, you need management. You have to manage. Okay, as long as you have a bunch of people working together, okay, you must manage their activity. You must manage them. Why? Because because we are very unique. Okay, we are different from each other. Okay, so if there is no one to manage, okay, so sorry, so if we are working as a group, okay, it's hard to it's hard to it's hard to integrate everyone into a group. Why? Because yes, we have some, okay, when we are working in one group, most of the time we have some similarities that we can work with, okay, but you also have the differences between you and your team members, okay, so the differences between you and your team members sometimes can create a conflict, okay, so if there is no one to manage, okay, the team, okay, so the conflict can balloon up, okay, can become bigger and bigger, and lastly it will break up the group. Okay, so that happens a lot in our life. Okay, so that's why it's important for a manager to manage a group of people. Okay, so that is the importance of management, because we want to manage the group, a group of people that working together. Okay, so if there is no one to manage the group, okay, so everyone will do their own thing. Okay, right, everyone will do their own thing. Okay, and you maybe cannot achieve, okay, whatever goal you already set up for your team. Okay, so that is important, that is the importance of management. Okay, okay, so this one also a basic management. So when we talk about management, okay, the sorry sorry ah okay, sorry. All right, so when we talk about management, okay, uh, in general we have three level of management in the company. Okay, the lower level, okay, the lowest level of management is your first line manager. Okay, this is the lowest level of management. Okay, you have foreman, okay, or you have the supervisor, or you have team leaders. Okay, so these are all first line manager. Okay, so first line manager, their job is to manage the workers. Their job is to manage the staff. Okay, so that is the first line manager, and then we have the second layer of management, which is the middle management. Okay, so middle management is the one who manage the first line manager. Okay, so in the middle level, okay, you are not directly attending your team. You are not directly attending the employees. Okay, you attending the leader or the supervisor of your supervisor of your employees. Okay, so on the on the middle management level, okay, the job is to organize, okay, to make planning and organize the the leaders, okay, the leaders, how they okay, you will give instruction how to do this, how to do that. Okay, so middle management is in the middle. Okay, so you will receive the the planning, okay, or the direction from the top management, and then you have to make your planning, okay, and you also must organize your team, and then you will disseminate the information to the first line manager, so that the first line manager will execute your instruction. Okay, so that is middle level management. Okay, and then lastly is the top management. Okay, so top management is uh, basically all the C level executive. For example, your CEO, your COO, your CFO, okay, and then your CTO. Okay, so all the C level managers are the top management. Okay, and then you also have sometimes they use the president, sometimes they use company manager. Okay, so that is okay. Basically, all the C level manager, they are the top management of the company. Okay, so what the C level manager are doing? Okay, they make planning, okay, for the company. Okay, so when you arise to the top level management, you are not leading, okay, you are not managing the employee, okay, anymore. Okay, you are not managing the employees anymore. Okay, what you will do on the top level management is you will manage the company. Okay, you will manage the company as an entity. Okay, so you are not giving direction for your employees anymore. Now you are giving direction for your company, where your company will grow. Okay, how much you predict your company will grow. Okay, how to achieve the growth that you already stated. What are the plans? Okay, how to achieve the plan? Okay, so that is what the top management do. Okay, in their level. Okay, so they are managing the company, not the employees. Okay. All right. So these are the three level, okay, the basic three level of management in the company or in an organization. All right. Okay. When we talk about management, okay, management usually they will delegate. Okay. All right. So as a manager, you will not do the work by yourself. Okay. Most of the time, you will delegate, or you will distribute the work to the workers. Okay. So because if you as a manager you do the if you as a manager you are the one who doing the job, then what is your employees doing? Okay. So you must delegate the works to your employees. Okay, so that they have their own works to do, and also you also have your own works to do, which is to monitor them and to supervise them. Okay, so what is delegation? Okay, so you must understand what is delegation. Delegation occur when some people ask others to perform tasks on their behalf. Okay, for example, most of us delegate to grocers the task of acquiring various food, the doctor to prescribe medicine, and etc. Okay, so delegation is when you tell others to do the job on your behalf. Okay, so for example, you as a manager, okay, so you get instruction from your upper level. Okay, your upper level, okay, said, okay, you must achieve. For example, you are the sales manager. Okay, the top management tell you, okay, you as you okay, so this year our company must achieve maybe 1 million of sale. Okay, and then the instruction was given to you, okay, you must achieve 1 million of sale this year. Okay, so you as a manager, you must delegate. Okay, you must tell, okay, you must ask your employees, okay, to achieve the goal, okay, on your behalf. Okay, so because you are not doing it, okay, because you are instructed to achieve the goal. Okay, now, okay, so now you have to achieve the goal. Okay, so but you are manager. Okay, you are the manager, so you will not do the work by yourself. Okay, so you have the team. Okay, so you must delegate, you must instruct others to also working together with you to achieve the goal. Okay, so you must ask others to do the job. Okay? You must ask others to find the sale. You will not find the sale by yourself. You instruct others to find the sale. Okay, but you as a manager, you are not doing nothing after you delegate. You must monitor and motivate your team how to how to achieve the goal. Okay, so that is delegation. Okay, so delegation in a simple team is in a simple term is when you ask people to do the job on your behalf. Okay, all right. Okay. So in this way, it helps us to overcome personal limitation because each of us has limited time, energy, and talent. Okay. So why we need to delegate? Because we as a human being, okay, we are not omnipotent or omniscience. Means that we are not knowing everything. We also we also have limited resources to being deployed to achieve the goal. Okay, so we as a human being, we are very limited with time, with resources, with energy. Okay, we also limited in talents. Okay, because everyone has their own talent. Okay, you are not all talented person. Okay? You cannot say that you are all talented person. Okay, because yes, maybe you have 2 or 3, maybe 10 talents, but you don't have all talents in the world. Okay, so everyone has their own strength and weaknesses. Okay, so you as a manager, you must be able to tap you must be able to tap those specialties. Okay, you must be able to tap the specialties of your team members. Okay, all right. So this is it increase the number of tasks that can be performed. Okay, so why we as a manager we delegate the task to the other people. Okay, so that the task can be done quickly. Okay, maybe we can achieve. Okay, instead of, okay, for example, maybe if you do it alone, maybe you can achieve it in 1 year, in 1 year time. Okay, but if you delegate to your team members, okay, maybe it can be done in maybe half 6 months. Okay, you you guide your team members all out. Okay, and then after 6 months, your team can achieve the goal of 1 million sales. Okay, so another 6 months you can do another thing. Okay, either you can boost your team members to achieve more. Maybe you do some other things. Okay, okay. So once you if you okay, once you use delegation in your management. Okay, it can quicken the process. Okay, and also you can do more tasks too. More tasks can be accomplished. Okay, so that's why you delegate the works in your office. Okay. Okay, so there are 3 types of delegation. So we already know the delegation. Okay, so why we delegate works in the company. Okay, so now there are 3 types of delegation. First is downward delegation. Second one is upward delegation, and then the third one is sidewise delegation. Okay, 3 types of delegation. All right. Okay, so we already understand. Okay, so now we already understand why it is important for the manager to delegate the works to their staff or to their team. Okay, but there are times where sometimes the manager they don't want to delegate the things. Okay, so some managers they are hesitate. okay, they are hesitate to delegate the works to their team, to their team members. Okay, they don't want to delegate the works. They want to do it by themselves. Okay, so these are the reason why managers, some managers, they don't want to delegate the works or the responsibility. First, they have tendency to do things personally. Okay, because the manager, they like to work by their own self. Okay, so these are the personality problem with the manager. All right. And then the second one, attachment with previous responsibilities. Okay, sometimes because the manager, sometimes the manager think that it is their responsibility to do the job. Okay, so that's why they don't want to delegate the works to the staff. Okay, so these are another problem why manager do not want to delegate the work. Okay, and then the third one, fear of being exposed. Okay, so some manager, maybe they are not competent for their place, for the manager position. Okay, so sometimes they don't want to delegate because they don't want the team members to know that he or she doesn't have knowledge, or they doesn't have technical knowledge, or technical know-how on the job. Okay, so sometimes the manager, they don't want to delegate the job is because they are afraid that people will can sorry they are afraid that the people or the team can see his incompetencies in certain areas. Okay, so that is the third reason. Okay, and then number four, belief in indispensable person theory. Okay, I'm also not sure what is this theory about. Okay, so next we move on. Okay, desire to dominate. Okay, so this is another personality problem, okay, with the manager. Sometimes because the manager doesn't want to delegate because he wants to control everything. Okay, he doesn't believe in his team members. He doesn't believe in his workers. Okay? He doesn't believe in anyone else. Okay, because he thinks he is the best. Okay, so he doesn't believe in anyone else. So he doesn't want to give anyone the job that he received from the upper level. Okay, so this is the fifth problem. Okay, why managers don't want to delegate their job. And then number six, unwillingness to accept risk. Okay, so once you delegate the job to other people, there will be a risk. Okay, because some people, they are not competent to do the job. Maybe some person, they have personality problem. They delay the job. Okay, so these are the risks that you as a manager must take when you want to delegate your task. Okay, so some manager, they are afraid with this kind of risk. Okay, so that is the reason why they don't want to delegate the task. Okay, number seven, attitude that subordinate is incapable of using the authority properly. Okay, okay, so this I think okay, this one, okay, the number seven reason, okay, I think is related to number five. Okay, where the manager is a very domineering person. Okay? So he thinks that he is the best. Okay? He is the best. Okay? So okay? He doesn't believe in anyone. Okay? So anyone else, he will think that anyone else is incapable or not up to his standard to do the work. Okay? So that's why the managers, he or she doesn't want to delegate the job. Okay. Number eight, lack of proper planning and organizing. Okay. So once if you as a manager, you fail to plan your activities, okay, so to you will have fear to delegate the job because you are afraid that people will expose that you you are not you are not making proper planning. Okay, you afraid that you will be exposed by others. Okay, because you are failed to make a proper planning for the activities. Okay, so this one, okay, the number eight reason, I think is related to number three, fear of being exposed. All right. And then lastly, number nine, lack of proper communication, coordination, and control system. Okay, so this is another reason. Okay, because you as a manager sometimes some of the manager, okay, some of the manager sometimes they have problem in communication. Okay, so he or she cannot deliver the information effectively to the employees. Okay, so he will have a problem to delegate the job and then to coordinate the job so that everyone will do the job properly. Okay, so these are some of the reason why managers they don't like to delegate their job. Okay, so when the manager uh, fail to delegate the job, okay, it will create a problem. Okay, because why? Because the manager's responsibility, okay, sorry, because the manager's main responsibility is to monitor the progress or monitor the performance of the staff. Okay, if you didn't give any job to your staff, then how you want to evaluate their performance, how you want to evaluate the progress of your staff. Okay, so this, okay, so this will create an issue lah. Okay, so if the manager fail to delegate the task, then he will neglect the main responsibility of the manager position itself. Okay, that's why if you are being appointed as a manager, you must be able to delegate your job effectively to your team members and to your employees. Okay, so how to solve this problem? Okay, so we have 9 ways how to solve the problem. Okay, first, make the delegator feel secure. Okay, realize the need for and believe in delegation. Establish a fear and frustration free work environment. Tie in with intelligent planning, keeping a hand in duties delegated. Determine what to delegate and provide adequate authority. Choose the delegatee wisely. Give assistance to the delegates. And lastly, reward effect delegation. Okay. So these are some of the conclusion, some of the solution. Okay, how you want to solve the problem where manager they don't want to delegate the job. Okay, so these are some of the solution that you can implement in your workplace. Okay, to solve this problem. All right. Sorry. Okay, and then we have what we call as decentralization. Okay, so decentralization is the tendency to disperse decision-making authority in an organized structure. It is the fundamental aspect of delegation to the extent that the authority to be delegated is decentralized. According to Coons and O'Donnell, decentralization is the systematic effort to delegate to the lowest level all authority except that can be exercised at a central point. Okay, so once you delegate the task or the responsibility of your the responsibility to your employees, okay, at the same time you actually decentralize the authority from your management from the management. Okay, why? Because once you upon the responsibility to the person, now the person has authority to make their own decision. Okay, so once you appoint a person or an employee, okay, as the okay, so once you appoint an employee, okay, to be responsible for one activity, then he or she will have the authority to make their own decision on those activities. Okay, so you as a manager, your job is to monitor the your job is to monitor the decision making process. Okay, so you must monitor the choice, okay, made by your employees. Okay, either it's good or bad. Okay, you have to you have to monitor. Okay, you must advise. Okay, so you as a manager, okay, your role on decentralization is first you will decimate the authority. Okay, and then you must monitor the authorities that you give to your employees. Okay, you as a manager, you are not the only one who makes the who makes the who makes the decision in the company. Everyone will make their own. Everyone will make their own decision. But you as a manager, you must monitor. You must monitor the decision that being made by your employees. Okay, so these are the roles of manager. Okay, when you distribute authority to your employees. Okay, all right. So there are several factors that determine the degree of decentralization. Okay, all right. So once you delegate the authority to make decision to your employees, okay, so there are certain level, okay, there are certain degree of freedom, okay, that you will give to your employees to make decision. Okay, so it means that some decision can be made by the employees himself or herself, okay, but some decision must come through the manager. Okay, so the managers, okay, so like I said before, the managers must monitor. Okay, you must monitor and advise your employees when they are making their decision. Okay, so some decision you must take control. Okay, you must take control on some decision. Okay, so there are several factors that determine how much control you will have on your employees. Okay, the first factor is the significance of a decision. Okay, if the decision is small, okay, means that it will not affect other areas of the company. Okay, maybe you will allow. Okay, you will. Okay, maybe as a manager, you will allow. Okay, you will allow your workers to make decision. Okay, and then desire for uniformity. Okay, so once you give the authority for your employees to make their own decision, okay, most of the time, okay, their own decision is their decision will be different from others decision. Okay, because we have to understand that people upbringing is different. Okay, so for example, here in Malaysia we have three main races, right? We have Malay, okay, Chinese, and Indian. Okay, and then we also have many more races in Malaysia. Okay, so every race they have their own culture. Okay, so everyone will not okay, so every race will have different culture. Okay, and then every family will have their will have different upbringing style. It means that your experience, okay, as a child, okay, in your family is different, okay, with your friend, okay, with your friend experience as a child in their family. Okay, so all those differences will create a different mindset, a different experience, okay, for the person. Okay, so once you give them a similar situation, okay, most of the time, okay, the people, okay, the person, okay, for example, if we have two person, we have two person, okay, having the similar situation, you can see that both of the person, they will make different decision. Okay, their decision will not be the same. Okay, why? Because it will be based on their experience, okay, and in their culture. Okay, so different experience, different culture will create different decision for the for the for the person. Okay, so it's hard to control what kind of decision that will be made by the employees. Okay, so if you as a manager, okay, you want a uniformity in your team, okay, maybe you will take the leadership. Okay, you will take the responsibility to make decision for your employees. But if let's say you are it's not free thinker, but you want to you want to you want to boost the creativity of your employees, then maybe you will give more freedom for them to make their own decision. Okay, the desire for uniformity. Okay, how much you as a manager want to uniform the decision by your employees. Okay, so that is the second factor. Number three, the size of business unit. Okay, and then number four, decentralization for performance. If you evaluate your employees based on how they make their own decision, then maybe you want to give more freedom for them to make the decision. Okay, so it will be based on how you evaluate their performance. Okay, and then number five, business dynamics. Okay, number six, history of the enterprise. Okay, number seven, desire for independence. Number eight, availability of competent managers. Okay. Number nine, environmental influence. And number 10, nature of top management. Okay. So if your company, okay, is okay, is very open on, is very open for new ideas. Okay. It's very innovative. Okay. They promote innovation. Okay. Then maybe the degree of centralization in the company is very high. Okay. But for a company that have a very traditional mindset, they want to control everything. Okay, and then they also don't like innovation. Maybe their degree of centralization is very low. Okay, so these are the factors that will determine how much the company will decentralize their decision making process. Okay, from their management. Okay, right. So there are several advantages of decentralization. Okay, first of all, it will relieve the top management. Okay, so it will take some responsibility from the management to make decision. Now the employee also can make their own decision. Okay, so it will relieve some of the responsibilities, okay, from the top management. Okay, and then number two, encourage decision making and assumption of authority. Number three, give more freedom in decision making. Number four, makes the comparison of different organization units possible. Okay. Number five, facilitate setting up of profit centers. Number seven, promote development of manager. Number eight, aids adaptation of fast changing environment. And number nine, increase cooperative management. Okay. Okay. I think let's take a break for a while. Okay. So I think let's take 5 minute breaks. Okay. So then we will continue back on 10:55. Okay. To complete this first chapter. All right. Okay, so let's we continue. Okay, we try to complete first chapter today. Alright. Okay. Okay, so that is the advantages of decentralization. Okay, but when something have advantages, there must be some disadvantages. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of decentralization? Okay, first, make uniform policy making more difficult. Okay, and then second, increase the complexity of coordination of the decentralized organizational units. Okay. Number three, result in loss of power of the upper level management. Number four, limited by inadequate control techniques. Number five, constrained by planning and control system. Number six, limited by lack of qualified managers. Number seven, involve considerable expenses for training. And number eight, limited by external factors. Okay, so these are some limitation or disadvantages of decentralization. Okay, all right. So that is about that is about management. Okay, all right. So let's we enter the main topics that we want to discuss in this subject, which is health safety and environmental issue in the workplace. Okay, so when we are working in the workplace, okay, right, sometimes we will facing with some accident. Okay, so there are some common safety issues that always arise in the workplace. Okay, the first one is slip, trips, and fall. Okay, so most of the times, okay, sometimes people will slip. Okay, maybe they sometimes people will slip, trips, and falls. Okay, and then from those incident, okay, it will create maybe some injury. Okay, so these are the most common safety issues that will happen in the workplace. Okay, and then there also some problem with, especially if you are working in logistic or in manufacturing, okay, or you are working in a factory. Okay, so there are also some incident, okay, especially in the lifting, okay, in the material handling process. Okay, so sometimes when people handling the materials, okay, maybe the material is too big or too heavy. Okay, some people also will trip. Okay, and then it will cause injury. Okay, sometimes they will cause a back injury, sometimes they will fall and maybe broken some bones. Okay, so these are the common safety issue that will happen in the workplace. Okay, so there are, okay, so these are the proper, okay, so this one is a tips, okay, for proper lifting procedure. Okay, number one, assess the situation and plan the lift. Make sure you have non-skid shoes and firm footings. Okay, bend your knees, tighten your stomach, and keep your back straight. Make sure you have a good grip on the item or person you are lifting. Okay, so if you can follow this kind of tips, okay, maybe you will reduce the probability that you might slip, trips, and falls. Okay, and then you also will reduce the incident when you are handling materials in your workplace. Okay, all right. So these are the first common issue that will happen. Okay, the first common safety issue that will happen in the workplace. Okay, and then second one is the fire safety. Okay, right. So fire is another common safety issues that can happen in the workplace. Okay, so if fire hazard happen in your workplace. Okay, so it is best. It is best advice. Okay, it is best to stay calm. Okay, so when you notify there is a fire in your workplace, okay, the first thing first you must do is to stay calm. Okay, you cannot be panic. Okay, because when you are panic, okay, it will create chaos in the workplace. Okay, so when chaos happen, okay, most of the time, okay, the injury can happen. Okay, maybe it will not happen due to fire, maybe because you are tripped. Okay, you maybe when you want to run from the dangerous area, okay, you might trip and fall. Okay, so it is best to stay calm. Okay, you cannot help yourself or coworker if you lose control during an emergency. Okay, so when emergency happen, you must stay calm. Okay, so that you can protect yourself and also your coworker. Okay, and then move to designated assembly point and use a fire extinguisher. Okay, if possible. All right. So these are the second common safety issue that happen. Okay, that will arise in the workplace, which is a fire hazard. All right. Okay. There is a quote by Ivan Illich. Okay. Healthy people are those who live in healthy home or healthy diet in an environment equally fit for birth, growth, work, healing, and dying. Healthy people need no bureaucratic interference to make, give birth, share the human condition, and die. Okay, so when we talk about healthy and safety environment, okay, we can use this quote by Ivan Illich. Okay, we can try to create the environment described by Ivan Illich. Okay, so we must create a, a safety and healthy environment where you can live and work properly. Okay, all right. So what is health? So health is a condition under which the individual is able to mobilize all his resources, intellect, emotional, and physical for optimum living. Okay, so when we talk about health, okay, so health is means that you are optimum, you are fit to live to live your day. Okay, so that is health. Okay, so if you are fit, okay, to live an optimum life, then that is what we call as health. Okay, so if you have a good health, means that you are fit and you are fit to work. Okay, to work properly and optimally. Okay, but if you are unhealthy, okay, your productivity will reduce, will plummet. Okay, so that is health. Okay, so what are the reason why, okay, some people they don't have a healthy life. Okay, so first of all, maybe it's heredity, means that you inherit them from your family. Okay, so some of the inherit health problem, for example, the high blood pressure. Okay, maybe some maybe heart condition. Okay, so this is something that you cannot avoid. Okay, if we are talking about heredity health issue, okay, it is something that you cannot avoid. Okay, if you have it, then you have to accept it. Okay, so this is something that you cannot control. Okay, but there are various health issue that you can avoid. For example, maybe you can avoid asthma. Okay, because you check that your family don't have any asthma problem. Okay, maybe, but you get asthma, maybe it's because of your environment. Okay, so environment also plays a major role, okay, in determining the healthiness of the people. Okay, so the environment, how the environment, okay, what kind of environment you are living in. Okay, if you are living in a very healthy environment, then you can maintain your healthiness. Okay, right. So it will depend on your environment, which is the point number two, environment. Okay, the welfare services. Okay, the environment you live in. Okay, is there any hospital? Okay, do you have any medical access? Okay, so that is environment. Okay, and then socio-economic condition. Okay, how wealthy are you? Okay, sometimes the environment is very healthy, but you don't have the wealth to spend on the medical and health. Okay, so it will become a constraint for you to have a very good healthy style. Okay, and then the last factors that determine your health is your lifestyle. Okay, how you live your life. Okay, sometimes the environment is good. Okay, you have a good income, but you are not living in a very healthy lifestyle, then it will not create a healthy life for you. Okay, all right. So these are the reason. Okay, so these are the reason why people will have a healthy problem in their life. Okay, right. So environmental impact. So okay. So like I said, okay. So from the previous slide, we can see that environment is playing a major role in determine the healthiness of the people. Okay, so the environment can be a physical, biological, and or psychological environment. Okay, to the person. The physical is example the nature. Okay, so that is the physical. Biological, maybe your exposure. Okay, you exposed to the sunlight, you exposed to the fresh air. Okay, so these are the biological, and then the psychological. Okay, your mental health, Okay, your mental health. Okay, so we can see that. Okay, you can see example. Okay, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we can see that many people have psychological problem. Why? Because the environment is not suitable for their emotion or for their psychological okay, their environment. Okay, their environment cannot create a good psychological situation. Okay, so many person have stress, many person have anxiety. Okay, so all those negative emotion, it will create a burden to your psychological situation. Okay, so also it will create, okay, it will, okay, once your psychological situation is not healthy, and then it will affect your physical bodies. Okay, all right. Okay, so your environment will be depending on your human activities. Okay, right, we can see if we have lots of human activities. Okay, most of the time the environment will deteriorate. Okay, because now you have, for example, you open, okay, you have to deforestation. Okay, human activities. Okay, so deforestation, urban planning. Okay, all this create, okay, all this create a stress to the environment. Okay, so once the human activities are increasing, then it will impact the health of the person. Okay, all right. So what is environment? Environment is all the external factors affecting an organism. Okay, so anything that is external to yourself, means that out of your body. Okay, so your home, your surrounding, the people. Okay, animals, plants, anything that, okay, and then also the activity of human. For example, the politics, the economy. Okay, all those external factors. Okay, all those external factors, okay, it will affect you as a human being. Okay, so this factor may be other living organism or non-living variables such as temperature, rainfall, day length, wind, ocean current, okay, and then politics and etc. Okay, the interaction of organism with biotic and abiotic factor form an ecosystem. Okay, so the interaction of organism in the environment, it will create an ecosystem. Okay, so if you want to have a good environment, you must build a good ecosystem in your environment. Okay, because the interaction of organism, living being in the ecosystem, in the environment, okay, will play a role in determining either the environment is healthy or not. Okay, all right. So there are many types of environment. Okay, we classify it into two category. First is macro environment or external environment. Okay, so external environment, it is said to be responsible for millions of preventable diseases originating in it. Okay, and then we have a micro environment, domestic environment in which we live, Okay, so macro environment, okay, is a big picture of the environment. For example, country, or maybe estate. Okay, so it's a very big area. Okay, and then we have micro environment. Okay, so micro environment is where we live in. Okay, the environment where we live. Okay, so maybe your house surrounding, okay, your house and the surroundings. Okay, so that is micro environment. Okay, when we talk about macro environment, maybe is your district. Okay, so it's very big. Okay, so it's not you not live in all those places in your district. Okay, you only live in your home. Okay, but the district will also, okay, anything that happen in district will also play a role in determining your micro environment. Okay, the area that you live. Okay, and then lastly, okay, so that is macro, and micro, and lastly is internal environment. Okay, so in sometimes used for the environment inside the body. Okay, so internal environment or anything that happens in your body. Okay, so that is also another type of environment. Okay, so maybe there is a bacteria in your lung. Okay, then you will get sick. Okay, maybe there is some cut. Okay, maybe there is some cut. Okay, on your internet, you have an internal bleeding. Okay, then you can see there will be some bruises in on your skin. Okay, so it also will affect your health, your health. Okay, so these are the type of component. Okay, so we have macro, micro, and internal. Okay, and then we have and then we have the component of environment. Okay, so we have three component: environment, physical, biological, and psychological. So physical is anything physical, for example, air, water, soil, house, climate, heat, geography, light, noise, debris, radiation, and etc. So anything physical in this world. Okay, the air, the water, the house. Okay, and then the light. Okay, sometimes we have more light, sometimes we have less light. Okay, all these things is the physical component of the environment. Okay, and then we have the biological, we as a human, and then the animals and plants. Okay, so all those living, all those living in the environment, that is the biological component of the environment. Okay, and then lastly is the psychological, the culture, the values, the custom, belief, habit, attitude, moral, religion, education, lifestyle, community life, health service, social, political organization, okay, economics, okay, anything that involve okay, so anything that reflect the interaction of people in the environment. Okay, so psychological is here is the human interaction, okay, the culture and etc. lah. Okay, right. So these three are the main component of environment. Okay, so environmental hazard can be biological, chemical, physical, psychological, sociological, or site and location hazard. Okay, so anything that affecting the health or the safety of the human being. Okay, that is what we call as environmental hazard. Okay, right. So that is environmental hazard. So anything that can harm human being, okay, that comes from the environment, that is what we call as environmental hazard. Okay, so that is environmental hazard. Okay, and then we have the term what we call as occupational health and safety. Okay, so what is occupational health and safety? Okay, so occupational health and safety is the control aspect of work production that involve any degree of risk or danger that may cause injury or harm. Okay, so occupational health and safety is the healthiness and the safetyness of the environment in in a in the working areas, okay, in the workplace. Okay, so that is the occupational health and safety. Okay, the safetyness and the healthiness of your workplace. Okay, right. So that is occupational health and safety. Okay, so this process eliminates such element to ensure employee safety and health. Okay, so occupational health and safety. Okay, So it describe the healthiness and the safetyness of the workplace, okay, and how you want to create a good, okay, a healthiness and safety, okay, sorry, a healthy and safety workplace. Okay, how you want to control your workplace environment so that it is healthy and safety for your employees to work, okay, in that environment. Okay, all right. So in occupational health and safety, they outline some process, okay, some procedures, okay. So this procedure used to eliminate, okay, any element that can harm the employee, okay, so that you can create you can create an environment that can ensure the safety and the safety and health of your employee. Okay, so using occupational health and safety procedures and guideline, you can create a safe and healthy environment for your employees to work. Okay. Alright. So why is important to to create a safety environment? Okay. So when you create a safety environment for your employee to work with, then you can eliminate time loss, prevent waste of human suffering because of industrial accident or illness. Okay, so you can reduce the impact of the industrial. You can reduce the impact of the industry, okay, to your employee's life. Okay, is that if there is no incident in the factory, then people life is people life can be safe. Okay, maybe okay, so you can, okay, so there is no staff or no employees that maybe broken their leg or maybe lost their finger, etc. Okay, so you can prevent that thing to happen. You can prevent the harm. Okay, and then when you can prevent the harm, then there is no time loss. Okay, because once your employees are injured or maybe have some incident, then they cannot come to work for some time. Okay, so it will create a time delay, okay, in your process, in your organizational process. Okay, so what if you can avoid the injuries or harm to your employees, then you can eliminate the time lost happen due to injury or illness. Okay, all right, that is the first important. What again, that is the first reason why safety is important in the workplace. Okay, and then the second reason is to develop in the employee the proper working attitude to make himself a healthy and safe worker through the employee induction and training program and good supervision. Okay, so other than you want to help your employee to avoid any accident or illness, you also want to train your you want to okay you must you also want to you also want to train your employees so that he also aware how to be a safe and healthy worker, so that he also will not create harm to other people. Okay, right, so that is the importance of safety in the workplace. Okay. Okay, so from occupational health and safety procedure and everything, okay, we have the procedures, and now we also have to manage. Okay, so this is what we call, okay, this is okay, from here the health and safety management arise. Okay, right. So why we need to manage the healthiness and the safetyness of the workplace. Okay. All right. So according to International Labor Organization, around the world, millions of men and women work in poor and hazardous conditions. Okay. More than 160 million workers fall ill each year due to workplace hazard. Small enterprises account for over 90% of enterprises where conditions are often very poor, and the workers in them are often excluded from all labor protection. Okay, so why we need to manage the healthiness and the safetyness of the workplace? Because we want our workers to work safely, okay, and then to work in a healthy environment, okay, so that we can maintain the healthiness of the worker, okay, and then they also can work in a safe condition, right? So that's why it's important to manage the healthiness and the safetyness of your workplace, okay, right? So there are clear pressing reasons why businesses should effectively manage health and safety. Okay. First of all is to reduce the cost. Okay. Because when your workers are ill, then they will have to go to the clinic. Okay, and then they will be charged for the service they have in the clinic. Okay. And most of the company, they will have to reimburse they have the policy to reimburse their workers or their employees when they are going for medical they are going to clinic for medical attention, okay. So if you can reduce if you can create a healthy and safety environment in your workplace, then you can reduce the cost to reimburse your employees when they go to the to the clinic or to the hospital, because now because they are healthy, okay, they also working safely, then they don't have any reason to go to the clinic, or they want or go to the hospital to seek medical aid. Okay, so now you can cut your cost on that matter. Okay, and then the second reason is because of the humanitarian and moral reason. Okay, so you as a human being is okay, you as a human, okay, if okay, you as a moral human being, okay, sorry, you as a human being with high moral attitude, okay, you you must not harm other people, okay, including your employees, okay. So you must create, okay, it is your responsibility, okay, on a moral aspect to create a, a good, healthy and safety environment for your workers, so that you will not create harm for your employees, okay. So as a moral as a more highly moral person, okay, you are not supposed to harm people, okay. You are not supposed to harm other people. So if you are working as a manager, okay, you must create a safety and healthy environment for your employees, so that it will not harm their safety and their own health, okay. So this on a moral reason, okay. And then to avoid prosecution, okay. So most I think all of the country nowadays, they have their own law, okay, law and regulation on occupational okay, the safetyness and the healthiness of the working environment, okay. So if you don't want to get fined or being sued by your workers due to your poor working environment, then you must create a good, healthy and safety environment for your workers to work at, okay. Okay. And then what is the significance? Okay, what is the significance? Okay, so now we know the importance. Okay, why it is important, especially in the industrial not in especially in the maybe in the manufacturing or in the processing businesses. Okay, so what are the significance, okay, of industrial safety, okay, for the employee. Okay, so industrial causes a great loss to both employee and employee, that it is having important, okay, to cut cost on compensation, okay. All right, so what if you can create a safety workplace, okay, safety factory, so that you can eliminate any injuries, okay, for your employee, then you can cut cost on any compensation, okay. Because once your workers in your factory, they have injuries or any accident during their working hours, okay, you as the company, you must compensate the employee, okay, right? Or else if you don't offer any compensation, the employee can bring this to the tribunal, tribunal court, okay, and then you can be sued, okay. So you must, if accident happen in your factory, you must compensate your employee, okay. And then you also must pay for their medical aid, okay. You also must pay for any investigation that will happen in your factory, okay. And then you also must pay for the cost of spoilage of material. For example, your employee is carrying your materials, okay, and then he trip, okay, and then he fall, okay. Once he fall, he will injured, and then the material also will fall to the floor, okay, and then will be spilled, okay. So your material will be lost, okay. So it will create a loss there, okay. So you will lose your materials, okay. So it will incur losses in your businesses, okay. And then lastly, cost of damage of machinery. Okay, some of the incident also will damage the machinery. Okay, so you must pay for the damage. Okay, because now you have to repair the machinery. Okay, maybe you have to replace new. Okay, so now you have to spend more on repairing or replacing your machinery. Okay, so these are the costs that will incur if you are not following the industrial safety rules, okay, that must be there in your factory, okay. All right, so what are the objective of industrial safety? First one is to prevent accident in the plant by reducing the hazard to the minimum. Second one, to eliminate accident cause work stoppage and lost production. And number three, to prevent loss of life, permanent disability, and the loss of income of the worker by eliminating causes of incident. Okay, so there are several type of industrial hazard. Okay, these three are the most common one. First is fire and explosion hazard. Second one is electrical hazard, and the third one is mechanical hazard. Okay, so to avoid those hazard, okay, to avoid and eliminate those hazard, you must create what we call as safety planning. Okay, so you must have a planning. Okay, you must have a plan for the safety in your factory. Okay, so when you create your safety planning for your factory, then these are some of the tips, okay, that should have in the planning. Okay, so first of all, you must consider the environment and social barriers, okay. And then the second one, you must support and encourage self-determination, okay. Number three, consider the diversity of the person need, okay. Number five, develop together with the spirit survivor, means that if there is employee that have accident in your workplace, then you must contact them, okay, and try to communicate with them what are how to prevent those situation from appearing again, okay. So you must work together with the survivor of your factory, okay. And then prioritize safety needs and wants, okay. So you can use this guideline, okay, when you want to create your safety planning, okay. All right, so preparing for safety planning. So what if, okay, once you want to when you want to make your safety planning, this thing must, okay, you must check this thing first, okay. First of all, have had a safety plan before, okay. Do you have a do you already have the safety plan, okay. Okay, so based on the, if your safety plan, okay, you already have the safety plan, what had worked is that which procedure had worked to prevent any accident, okay. So you must identify which procedure is good to be implemented again, okay. And then you also must check which procedure is not suitable, okay, to be implemented. What didn't work to prevent any injuries, okay. And then number 4, is their disability status the same or different from last time, okay. So these are the thing that you must check first before you create a safety planning, okay. First of all, you must clarify, do you have any safety plan before? If you have, you check, okay, which procedure is work, which procedure is didn't. Okay, and then you also must check the disability status. Okay, is that is the procedure is being implemented or not. Okay, all right. Okay, and then that is the guideline for safety planning. Okay, and then we have management by objective. So management by objective or MBO is a managerial method whereby the manager and employees identify major area in which the employee will work, set standard for performance, and measure result against those standards. Okay, the result need to be achieved in a given time frame. The employee should first review the mission and objective by analyzing what he or she does or what he or she thinks he or she should do, describing his or her job and clarify its purpose. Okay, this help to identify major job responsibilities. Okay, all right. So there are there are 5 principles when you want to implement management by objective. First is cascading of goal and objective. The second one, specific objective for each member. Number 3, participate decision making. Number 4, explicit time frame. And number 5, performance evaluation and feedback. Okay, and then how to make the MBO effective? Okay, so you must get, okay, to make MBO effective, you must have the participation from the top management. So top management must play a role, okay, when they want to implement the management by objective technique. Okay, and then you must also give the training to the employees for MBO. Okay, and then you must have a clear objective for the MBO. Okay, and then you must also encourage your employees to give effective feedback. Okay, because the feedback will create a better MBO style. Okay, and then encourage the subordinate to participate. Okay, so you must encourage your employees to participate in MBO so that you can create uh, a better management style. Okay. All right. Okay. So we can. Okay. So we actually achieve to cover chapter 1. Okay. All right. So that is the end for chapter 1. Okay. I think. Okay. So is there any question before we finish the class, guys? Any question?
No, sir.
No. Okay. All right. So if there is no question, okay, I think that's all for today. Okay, so for coming, okay, thank you for coming to the class. Okay, so before sorry,